Tony Hinchcliffe to comedy is kind of like Eminem if he had no skill and instead of rapping, he just said offensive things for no reason. This joke did not land, and I'm gonna make another video about it. But here is AOC and Tim Walz's live reaction. They were doing like a fun Madden NFL stream to encourage people to get out to vote, and they became reaction streamers. Please drop a like on this so people see it.
These are terrifying.
Absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing. I mean, I don't, he's a comedian. I don't follow
look,
this
Trump,
like
this
crew
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico
but...
again. I saw it. This was when he went down after Helene, the horrific hurricane, people there, everybody coming together. We sent helicopters down from Minnesota and personnel. You know, this is how you do this during this. And in the first hours, Trump complaining about the response. Does anybody remember how he responded to Maria in Puerto Rico? It was absolutely horrific. Down there insulting people, throwing it. Look, I know that the folks who are on here today understand this. People in Puerto Rico are citizens. They pay taxes and they serve in the military at almost a higher rate than anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. And like the thing that is so messed up that I wish more people understood is that the things that they do in Puerto Rico are a testing ground for the policies and the horrors that they wish to, and that they do unveil in working class communities across the United States. And I need people to understand that when you have some a-hole calling Puerto Rico floating garbage, know that that's what they think about you. That's just what they think about you. It's what they think about anyone who makes less money than them. It's what they think about the people who serve them food in a restaurant. It's what they think about the people who fold their clothes in a store. Like,
you're
dude,
right.
are you serious? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, the privilege of being on this campaign is traveling across the entire country. There are hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans across in battleground states that need to send them a message on this.
I want them to like
vote.
Roll that. I want everyone in Philadelphia to see that clip. If you live in Philly, why don't you go and see that
Reading,
clip?
yes.
If you live in Reading, Pennsylvania, which I was there, I was in Reading last week. If you're in Reading, if you're in Philly, look at that trash. Like, what is trash is people actually just thinking of other human beings that way. Are you actually for real? And the thing that gets me is that these people their entire lives rely on working class people.
Yeah, so that was most of AOC's reaction to this, and I think it's a really good political point. AOC talked about her identity and identifying with Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans in general and her family, but she did not lead into that too much. She instantly went to working people and talking about how people like Tony look down on all working people. And Tony, like I said, in order to do offensive jokes, I'm okay with offensive jokes, but what's the punchline of the joke he said? You need to do good, funny jokes that relate to different cultures. Shane Gillis can be very funny and offensive without being racist. Bill Burr can do it. Dave Chappelle can do it most of the time. And we're talking about Tony just saying Puerto Rico is trash floating in the middle of the ocean. That is very keenly just saying like, hey, Puerto Rico is trash. Puerto Ricans are trash. That's the entire joke. And the only people who think that's funny are people who have racist opinions about these groups of people. A real funny joke should not need to be explained. It should not need to be defined by anything other than this is kind of cute. This relates to the actual world. This might be some irony we play off of with how humans and cultures interact. That's what Shane Gillis and Bill Burr do. They understand different cultures. Tony made a career off of just bad audiences who think it's funny just to hear someone repeat their political opinions back to them in a joke format. Tony's current show on YouTube is by far the peak of his career, and it blew up because he brings on other comedians who actually use skill to tell jokes like this. And when Tony does roasts, it's not skillful. He's saying offensive things in an environment where people want to hear offensive commentary. It's more so commentary. There's not good punchlines. There's not good comedic timing. People are laughing along and clapping because they agree with the sentiment of what Tony said. A good offensive joke will have you talking like, "Hey, bro, that was messed up, but like that was smart. That was just like funny altogether. Like that made me laugh." I couldn't tell what the joke was going to be. You left us waiting for it. And finally you gave the punchline and it was really funny. You know, you're talking about how our different cultures interact and, you know, we're talking about, you know, white people can't do this. Black people can't do that. Maybe we're throwing shots everywhere. But when you just come out and you're like, yeah, well, black people don't have dads and they do crimes. Right, guys? It's funny. A certain audience will laugh at that. You can say it's a joke. But if you're not using the art properly of comedy, don't cry. Tony, don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay. You had your fun at the Trump rally. Now go book Shane Gillis again so people can actually laugh, because you know no one's watching Kill Tony for you. It's not. That's not why anyone's watching. You are actually something people complain about. When you get too much talking time on your own show, people complain because you're so bad at comedy. You might be able to pick out some good comedians, but when you're on the microphone, things do not go well. And you're very insecure. We understand that, but bro, make good jokes. Just make a good joke. You can say racist things, but like at least you know, at least make people actually laugh. I don't even know. I don't know one Republican that I know that found that joke to be funny. There's so many Republicans playing damage control, especially in Florida, because they have a big constituency of Puerto Rican voters.
And all these comics now, it's like almost the point is to get in trouble. It's like, why are you giving me shit? I'm a comic. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. That's wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Art.
Oh, wait, say it again so I don't miss it.
People think like, oh, as a comic, your job is to get in trouble. And so, but they don't want to get yelled at. It's like, it's okay to make people mad, but they don't want any pushback. And I think that's wrong. As a comedian, you want to make people laugh. This is a quote attributed to Andy Warhol that I love. It's just, art is getting away with it. You know, if you put out a special and everyone's pissed, like you didn't get away with it. You know, you need to make everyone laugh that they're like, yeah, he talked about some fucked up stuff, but we're all happy. That's art. Otherwise, you're just a...
I'm going to end this with a clip of Tucker Carlson calling Vice President Harris a Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, California prosecutor. And so when you're on the same stage as Tucker saying this, and you're Tony, you're saying the same thing. It's not even comedy. You're calling Puerto Rican people trash. You're saying Samoan, Malaysian. You're saying all these other cultures are savages and stupid, low IQ. And you're making a political opinion. You're making... a statement about these cultures and races that you don't like them and you think they are inferior. That's what you're doing. It's not a joke. But please like, comment, and subscribe, especially because we need to make sure we support actual comedy and not this dumbness. This is lazy. This is an insult to the art form of comedy.
10 days from now, to look in the eye to America with a straight face, it's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal.